that they had you bound to. You got knocked down, ho. Get ready for round two. It's round two. Get ready for round two. Come back, run rap, run laps around these cats. Jump back, kiss myself, still keeping me intact. Weird and black, they for that. Hold up, steer it back. Weird and black, they revere that. Yup, you hear that?
Turnstile, switch it up. Young nigga raised hard, he learned not to give a fuck. Young nigga came far, still never give enough. Coming with the flavor, delicious, so she lick it up. Bust down, stick it up, I put it down, so pick it up. Scud town, saviors, done some till he shift to musk. Stench so stank that the shit compare soft to us. Crud so dank, make your face smell to dripping, cuz club go shake when the bass gets to hitting ya. They ain't really hearing us, but they gon' feel something when the way is paved clear enough. I don't fear nothing but the fate, is God real or not? Well, fuck it, got the world in my hands, and that's real enough. Fuck it, got the world in my hands, gold forms to touch. Might just spend it all one time to give it all to us. Yeah, give it all to us.
Yeah, this that hip-hop body rock, hardcore karate chop, neo-Nazi nasty, not feel it in my chest. How could you wear that name? Must be automatic shame. He's an automatic lame, heard it from the best. Fresh flow, let's go, plus I got a lot of heart. It's necessary when you dabble in this art. Grab canvas, paint picture, use them acrylics, paint a picture so vivid, the people gotta feel it like the Kaaba. Lyrics bear fruit like guava, words spilling out of my brain like lava. Spills out the top of a volcano, and they know that A-Right is not the one to play. No, I'm Kano in Mortal Kombat, cause the lyrics like blades. Aim it at your juggler when I'm on stage. Until you heard me spit, homie, you ain't heard rage. On another chapter, so turn a turn. Okay, got that out my system. A-Right on another planet, dog, you must have missed them. When I do it how I do, it's of my own volition. Go make my destination even in the worst condition. I cruise the Blues Brothers, cause you know we on a mission. Eternity of roses, I make bumping in your system. I mean, banging it, and I'm still hanging it. And I got a gang of wisdom, I got a gang of rhythms, I got a lot of soul. I found the pot of gold, I'm wrapping that shit up, gon' sell it to the globe. I got some game to give them, they don't really want, but they really need. And I want you to succeed, I want you to be free. I want you to remove every obstacle from being what you truly wanna be. I truly wanna see, and I can only lead by example. So here's a sample from me, so get up.
He's the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water. 2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game.
You're tripping.
How you high? No,
Greatest
high
Super Bowl
expectations.
time.
I don't know what we're doing in the front office, man. Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this.
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches.
What is going on, folks? Welcome back to your favorite show on the internet. This is After Further Review, episode 189. I'm your co-host, Jalen Brown.
And I am your other co-host, Malin Dennis.
And I'm your other great co-host here in Tampa, Nestor.
I get so used to the fact that June is here that I just always expect him to introduce himself. Our special guest this week is June Bug Spade. June, what is going on?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Back again in the saddle.
Yep.
Yes.
Jalen, you noticed how I just said co-host like you say co-host, so that Nestor sounds narcissistic when he calls himself a great co-host?
Subtleties there.
I was like, I don't think he's gonna catch it.
Yeah, folks, if you're new to the show, we do a NBA and NFL podcast all in one on Wednesday nights at 9:30 Eastern time. We do this on YouTube. If you are completely brand new, we always open up the show with a cheers. So we're going to do that now. If you're at home and want to join us, raise whatever you got on high. Cheers, gentlemen.
Solo cup.
Good. Yeah, if you wanted to watch the video version, in case you don't know, click the first link down in your podcast description below, and you will be taken to the YouTube version of this very episode. And yeah, click subscribe, give the video a like, helps the channel grow, helps us out a bit. And with that being said, let's just hop right into the first topic of the week, which we are of course keeping up with the NBA playoffs as they happen. So the conference finals just began last night. The second round wrapped up with Minnesota and Dallas advancing in the West, and then Boston and Indiana advancing in the East. We can, of course, talk a little bit about the previous series and just kind of how they ended. So let's start off we'll start off in the East, since that game or that series is already underway and done, with game one ending last night. So Boston was waiting on Indiana, but Indiana took 7 games, took out the Knicks at MSG, which they did in very convincing fashion. June, I'll start with you. What do you think about just kind of how Indiana got here, and what do you think their chances are of taking down Boston?
I was really surprised on them beating the Knicks because I thought they was done. I thought they was out of gas in that last game, and Game 5. I thought that was it. I said even if it goes to Game 7, I thought the Knicks would pull it out at home. But it just seemed like the Knicks wasn't. They were just. It seemed like they were pressing that game too much. They were like we got it. You know, it was in their head at this point in time, and they just fell off. And then of course, the Brunson gets hurt. You know, when they started making their comeback in the game, he gets hurt. He's out rest of the game. So that hurt him. But good job on Indiana. I thought I saw Halliburton actually step up and actually take control of a game. You know, but as far as them playing against Boston, last night was their best chance, I think, to actually win. You know, if they wanted to make a statement, you can't make a statement by losing. I don't care what nobody say. You can only make a statement by winning a game. Boston did what they had to do. They got punched in the mouth, and they came back and they won that game. Good job by Boston to win the game. It's not a moral victory for Indiana. Only moral victories is a victory in this situation. You just played a tough 7-game series, and now you got to play the best team in the East. This was the game to steal. I don't know if I don't know how many games Indiana is going to win, but I know that Boston is going to win 4 of them.
Well said. Go ahead, Malin.
I mean, yeah, I thought that first of all, the Indiana Knicks series, two completely different showings from Game 6 and Game 7. Like you walked out of Game 6 feeling like, yeah, New York's gonna really put it on them.
Yeah.
And then they go into Madison Square Garden, and it looks like Tom Thibodeau's shitting cannolis. Everybody's hurt. The fans are quiet. Spike Lee looks like a fucking idiot. And they just get blown out. So I think throughout the entire playoffs, I think exactly what needed to happen is happened for our Boston Celtics that, really take advantage. Denver not being in it anymore. All these other teams going into lengthy series. Boston just losing one game each series. And then last night, like, I really thought we were 10.5-point favorites. And I really thought we were going to win by like 20.
Mm-hmm.
When we went up like 12 nothing, I was like, you know what? Halliburton needs to just go sell vacuum cleaners door to door like it looks like he should be. And then all of a sudden, like, it becomes a game, like the entire game. And you kept thinking that the Celtics were going to put them away at some point. But then Indiana would keep finding themselves up by like 4 or 5. And I was like, God damn, like when it got within like 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, I was like, we could actually lose this game.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is ridiculous. Even though Tatum, I think he scored 13 points in the fourth quarter. Or no, in overtime. He scored, I think, 10 or 11 in overtime. Finished with 36 points. They just kept falling down by 4 or 5. And I'm sorry, but when you have a 3-point lead with 10 seconds left, and you're inbounding the ball, and the other team has to foul, and you turn it over, and then you allow Brown to shoot that 3 when he hadn't made one all night, like with those two sequences happen, you deserve to lose.
Yeah.
We should have lost that game.
Mm-hmm.
It never should have gone to overtime. With 10 seconds left in a 3-point lead and you're inbounding the ball, you should win. You should be going to the free throw line with 8 seconds left and icing that game. But, good on, Tatum scoring 36. Brown being clutch. I think he had 25 or 26. You got to give Drew Holiday a little bit of shine.
Mm-hmm.
That man made the free throws late when he did. He had 28 points. That was one of the best games I've seen of him in a Celtics uniform. And I got to tell you right now that I was thinking that we would win game 1 and then probably lose game 2. But I don't... I know we still got the ride or die in 5 and like all that stuff, but I feel like Indiana, we got punched in the mouth, and then we turned around and kicked them in the nuts, and they are limping like their jewels just got smashed. So it'll be an interesting game too, but yeah, I like where we're at right now, and we do not need to play Porzingis at all right now. Don't rush him back.
Yeah.
Don't rush him back.
Yeah.
Just leave him be.
Yeah, bring him back game 3 or 4. He'll be fine.
If we're up 2-1 or 3-1, I wouldn't even bring him back then. I wouldn't bring him back unless Indiana won 2 games. If Indiana wins 2 games, I'll go ahead and bring him back. Otherwise, save him for the finals.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, Nestor.
Yeah, I do wonder how that dynamic works now for the Pacers because, yeah, they should have put that game away, but they had so many turnovers, and they still played, to me, like crap, and they almost won. So, yeah, I could see where Boston could be like, hey, we played like crap, and we still put them away. Took us going to overtime. We should have lost that game, but we did it. Or if the Pacers are like, hey, I mean, we play like crap. We had a bunch of turnovers. Like Halliburton was dribbling the ball off his foot every other play, and we almost won. So you gotta wonder what type of motivation this gives each team, how they're gonna go into game 2. Tatum, my God, dude, he's just continues to be 36 points, but he shot what 12 for 26, something like that. In the fourth quarter, yikes. So
did he not go double digits in overtime though?
yeah, he did.
He had a
But
great
He
overtime.
went double
would've
digits
been
in
no
overtime.
overtime.
We don't win overtime without Tatum.
If there would have been, if it weren't for Jaylen Brown, there would have been no overtime. Starting the show off.
I know. I'm just saying that and one with Tatum.
Yeah,
clutch.
yeah.
And one when Tatum was clutch. He took over overtime. Brown got them to overtime, and he took overtime over.
Normally,
I do agree that I think that
he's not.
Boston still needs that 1A person. Like, hey, I'm like the guy, and I don't feel like they have that. I think that Brown and Tatum, they don't want to step on each other's toes, kind of. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like they keep like deferring to the other person too much. But yeah, we got to give Tatum a little bit of shot. Go double digits in overtime. It's not nothing.
Yeah, I have so much. I could spend the whole episode, to be honest, talking about this one game because it was driving me nuts last night.
That
but
kid was driving you nuts.
yeah, the one Pacers fan. My God. Yeah. The fact that we came out and we're like up 12 zip at first, it just seemed like, all right, we're just gonna blow the doors off of them. But Indiana just kept hanging around, and halftime came around. It was tied up, I think, 64 all. And Pascal Siakam played a really, really great game. I've got to say, he really knows how to get to his spots. He loves that kind of free throw or elbow jumper because he was getting that all night. The Pacers are hunting for Al Horford in the pick and roll or in the pick and pop, whichever one they want. Halliburton was just hunting to get Horford switched onto him in any fashion. As soon as he crossed half court, it was like, all right, whoever's on Al, we're switching with you. And it was working. Halliburton was getting his shot. He has the same kind of three-point shot that he always goes to, where he just kind of swings around and runs out to either the right side or the left side and just chucks it up. And it was falling last night.
He made a couple stupid of them. That one at halftime.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, he looked surprised it went in. I was like, what are we... Stop it.
So I'm not expecting him to shoot that well from three again, at least not tomorrow night. He'll do his thing, of course, but we and this is a problem that drove me nuts when we're in the finals against the Warriors. We've got to do so much of a better job at fighting over screens because we switch way too easily, and it allows our bigs, Al Horford, to just get completely annihilated, and they just feed off of that all game long. So when you've got a Steph Curry, when you've got a Halliburton on the other side of the ball, you cannot give them that much airspace to shoot the ball however they want. Because it wasn't like he was just driving to the hole every single time. It was just 3-point shots. But anyway, Naismith got into foul trouble. He eventually fouled out, but that was big because he was a very good defensive presence for Indiana. So once he was out of the game and then it went to overtime, that was that. But I'll give JT his props because he carried us in overtime. Brown got us to overtime, even though he was just... Both of them were really, really bad down the stretch in the fourth quarter. I'm not going to harp on the terrible shot selection that JT took. We were down 3. He decides to do a turnaround fadeaway shot. It was just beyond me on why he tried that. I thought that was the game right there.
Didn't Indiana at one point have like a 9-0 run on us in the fourth?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we weren't like totally comfortable, but there was a confidence in the beginning of the fourth quarter. We were like, okay, this is where we're gonna take 7 and go up to 15 to 18 points.
Yes.
And then, it's like you turn around, you take a shit, you come back, and you're like, wait, we're down by 3. Like, what?
Right.
What happened? And then you see the shot selections, and you're like, can nobody rebound?
Yeah.
After the poor shots,
Why do they
nothing.
freeze up? They just stay all in one place, and they're like, let's try to. Why not just move the
Yeah.
They can move
Oh man, that
Yeah.
and we fall subject to that a lot of times. This was not exactly new, but just the lack of ball movement and the settling for ISO ball.
Do you guys feel like when Porzingis comes
That's
back
what-
that you guys can move the ball around a lot more, or no? Do you guys get?
I would say
I think we
more.
can, but I think the problem we've run into in the fourth quarter, and this is why we end up losing these leads, is that, like I said, like Tatum and Brown defer to each other so much that it's like when they do have the ball in the fourth quarter, they play ISO. And you're not getting the rest of the team involved. Like the ball movement isn't there because they want to get their shot off. Both of them are guilty of it, and both of them make stupid ass decisions.
Yeah.
But I think Porzingis will definitely help, especially on rebounds. I
Yes.
mean, maybe Boston's still going to be taking some poor shots. But I think they'll get it in a little bit more down low. I really love the way Holiday's playing right now. If he can keep that up, like he doesn't even need 28, but if he can give
Right.
you 20, I mean, it's going to be hard. But I mean, listen, Boston won that game playing with Tatum and Brown having terrible games for the most part. The second and fourth quarters for Tatum and Brown were just awful. And they need to clean that up. But they were still able to pull it out somehow, some way. And in the 7-game series against the best team left in the playoffs, when you're up 3 with 10 seconds left, you need to win that game.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure you guys have kind of heard this. The Pacers should have fouled when they were up 3 and just forced a free throw battle at that point. Do you guys agree with that, or do you think that they did right?
No. They should have fouled. No, they should have fouled. You got to put the pressure back on the other team. So you got to make them win it at the free throw line. You got to foul at that point.
I think it was such a crazy shot. It's not like Steph Curry right off the top of the key. It is bread and butter, and he's going to make that more times than not. Jaylen Brown hadn't hit a 3 all game, damn near stepping on his feet. He was not only falling backwards, but falling back to his right. I mean, it was just an incredibly tough shot. I think the probability of him making that shot was less than him making 3 free throws, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Just the probability. Like, you look at him taking that shot and you're like, okay,
Right.
you could take that shot 10 times and you're probably making 2 of them. He's probably making 8 out of 10 of those free throws.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't mind the non-foul on that if I'm an Indiana fan. Because then, like, what if he made it and then you put him on the free throw line with, to take the lead? But that circumstance, I don't mind.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the West with Dallas taking down OKC, so they advanced, and then the T-Wolves taking down the defending champs in 7 games, which was just a wild way for them to get there because they were down a lot of that game 7. But the fact that they were able to rally, come back and beat them was just insane. But now we got game 1, which is still very tight here in the third quarter. June, we'll start with you. What do you think about this series?
I mean, it's a good game. The pace right now is crazy. I mean, they're running up and down the court.
Yes.
I think right now because Minnesota did go to a 7-game series, I think the pace favors Dallas. So I want to see if they can keep this up in the fourth quarter. Because right now it's going back and forth, and Dallas is just hanging around. I think Kyrie at the half had 23 points. So Kyrie is on fire right now. And if he keeps that pace up for the rest of this game, again in the fourth quarter, does Minnesota have the juice to keep going? Now, I want to go back to the series prior with Dallas and OKC. Dallas, OKC. Now, if you look at the West, it was pretty tight. 1 through 5 was pretty tight.
Yeah.
Anybody could have been the number one seed at the end. When it comes, I think Dallas was only 3 games or 4 games out of the first spot, and they were the 5th seed. So I think it was pretty tight. OKC just young, inexperienced. That's what really knocked them out the playoffs. Dallas took advantage of it. That last game, Game 6, you have to show up in that game. You're the number one seed, and they just couldn't do it. I know it was a lot of controversy at the end. They called the foul. Was it a foul? Wasn't it a foul? It was a foul. He came down on his arm. If you make him alter his body, it's a foul. So it was a foul. But still, OKC, they're young, but I don't know if that team's going to be together next year because I'm pretty sure they're going to be over the salary cap like crazy. I'm pretty sure they're going to be close to it, and I don't know if they can pay a couple of those players that they're going to be able to keep. Some of those guys are on 1-year deals, so we're going to see who they're going to be able to sign. For Denver reminds me of the Milwaukee Bucks a few years ago who won the title. You know what I mean? It's a one-and-done team. Denver just didn't scare me as a team that was going to. I mean, right now, as you look at it, who's going to be the next great dynasty? And somebody said, "Oh, Denver has a chance." I said, "No, I don't think so. They just don't scare people like the Warriors did, like the Lakers did. Like some of these other teams. Who is that team? Denver just didn't. Milwaukee didn't scare anybody as a dynasty. Who's going to be that team that they win the next 3 or 4 championships? They just didn't have it. So I think the right 2 teams are in the finals right now in the West. So we'll see what happens as this go forward. I think this is going 7-game series. I said the Mavericks can 5 out, just joking, but I think it's going to be a good 7-game series. So
go ahead, Malin.
Going back to that Dallas Oklahoma series. The only thing missing was Dwight Van, man. That was the only thing missing. I loved it. Glad to see the worst team with the worst name and the worst owner and the worst uniforms and the worst colors and the worst fan base and the worst arena and the worst state is no longer in the playoffs. So they need to go hide from some tornadoes and pay that rent. They're probably not paying rent. Unemployment is really high in Oklahoma City. Moving on. So the Denver series, I do agree with you, June, that it's not like Denver scared me like the Warriors scared me, but I've always felt all year that if there's one team that I did not think my Celtics could beat in a 7-game series, it would have been playing against someone like the Joker because his strengths match all of our weaknesses. Now, the rest of his team in the playoffs didn't exactly play great in the playoffs, but there's something about the Joker or a big man like that going up against Celtics that I didn't like, especially with Porzingis being hurt. So knowing that they're not in it anymore, I'm like pissing cologne. I'm so happy right now. So now we have Dallas, we have Minnesota, and I honestly don't care who wins. I think they're 2 teams that are very similar. I know that Rudy Gobert is the defensive player of the year. He doesn't do a whole lot for me. But outside, you got each team has a couple people that could score. They could have great nights, or they could have really bad nights. They're very streaky. So I don't know. I'm leaning towards the experience of Dallas, especially with Kyrie.
Yeah.
Coming on as of late the way he did the last couple games of the last series, like he's getting his playoff legs under him. He's out of all the players in that 2017 finals against Golden State and Cleveland, Kyrie's the only top 75 NBA player that hadn't made it back to the conference finals yet. And now he's the only one out of all those players it's in the conference finals. We're talking, like LeBron James, Kevin Love, Green and Thompson and Curry and them.
That's crazy.
So, good for him. Like, he's had a pretty decent year, a quiet year. Hasn't been talking about the earth being flat. Hasn't been doing, weird shit. The Kanye West of basketball's kind of taking a chill pill a little bit. So I kind of like Dallas a little bit.
Go ahead, Nestor.
All it's gonna take is somebody asking him, "How do you feel about it's over for Dallas?" Check out my new movie. It's over for Dallas.
Do not ask him any opinion.
Check out this picture from outer space. Does that look flat? But no. Look, the OKC. I was disappointed in them, man. I get but I understand the experience part. They're like the youngest team to clinch that first seed. Like their average age is like 23.
Right.
So some young kids hope to stay together, and somehow. I'm not hoping they win a championship, but just to see some good basketball as we've been seeing from them, and not see Dallas in this position. But as for this series, I'm loving the pace. Tend to lean towards Minnesota just because they have so many good moving pieces around. Like they have Cat, they have Rudy in that defense. McDaniels, he's like 27 points at this point. Of course, Ant-Man. So I just feel like they have so many good moving pieces. Naz Reid, like we just saw a sequence where he had a steal back to Ant-Man. I think it was a 3, but regardless, they just play great basketball, and Ant-Man doesn't have to do everything. He had like 13 minutes like a few minutes ago. So he doesn't have to be the guy, but he does step up when the team needs him. So they're just a really good dynamic team, and I would love to see them go to the finals. So hoping Kyrie cools off a little bit. I'm glad, I'm happy for him. I'm hoping he cools off a little bit because that's what's moving this team at this point. Because we've seen Luka drop 40 points, they lose a game. So
yeah.
Do you guys think that the press that Ant-Man got in the beginning of that Denver series, like the first couple games or whatever, like got to him a little bit? I think he was reading his own press clippings a little bit because he got really cold for a while. Like he has not been the same since game 1 and 2 of the semis. He's not been as explosive. He's not been as consistent.
He's been on cap cut.
I think he started feeling the hype a little bit, or maybe it was the pressure of having all that. But something about all that. I mean, people started doing the Michael Jordan comparisons. I was like, yeah, dang.
By the way, what you were saying about Dallas, about Denver, it's just when he mentioned that, I just got PTSD from Dirk and JJ Barea, and that's how I see Denver. Is like, okay, you got the Joker, and then you got Jamal Murray. And it's just like, yeah, but at the same time, they could take down a supposed dynasty like what we were supposed to have, and they got in the way where it was like San Antonio Spurs, and that's what we fear. These teams.
I've got to say, the Dallas and OKC series. OKC still have a very promising future. I think a bit of that was their youth, but I think they really are lacking another center or a 4.
Oh yeah.
Because they were just Dallas just looked so much bigger than them down the stretch, especially when it came to on the glass. Yeah. They just could not get possessions because Dallas just kept rebounding the ball over them. So they need somebody else alongside Chet Holmgren. He's just not big enough on his own to be that, the big guy that they need. Because he's better off, to be honest, just sliding over to the 4. Don't even go down into the 5 spot. if they get somebody else to take
Right.
that, I think it'd just be better off all around. But that's all I really have to say about OKC. Dallas, though, it's really cool to see Kyrie come into this role or kind of come backwards a bit. He looks like when he was next to LeBron in Cleveland, where he's just like the supporting player to Luka now, and he clearly is fine with that. And it's like, well, go figure. Now here you are, a series away from being back to a championship situation. So it took him that 5-6 years of moving from team to team and trying to be the man.
He's all in Boston.
Right, trying to tank our franchise. But hey, now he's here, and it's cool to see him go back to that. But yeah, Dallas has got a squad. It's great to see Luka finally surrounded by a squad. Derrick Jones Jr., he comes from Chicago and was never known to be much of anything outside just a good dunker. And now here he is, a huge defensive presence and great on the glass for them. Lively, Washington, like they've got just dudes all over the place that are really solid on defense and can score the ball as well. So, and this series particularly is fascinating to me because I wanted to see how Minnesota was going to handle Luka defensively. And so far, just as of what I've been able to see, is as soon as he's passing half court, it's funny because Dallas is still trying to get these really high screens, and they're doing a pretty good job, I've got to say, at fighting over them as soon as he passes half court. So they're like, you are not just going to do your one dribble step back at the half court line and just light us up from three. So they're containing him seemingly pretty well. Yeah, I would kind of rather play Dallas over Minnesota. This is granted that is if the Celtics do move on to the finals, but that's just what I'm leaning towards right now. But we'll see how this series go.
Not having Pacers and Dallas.
Dallas and Indiana.
Shut up.
That would undo
Master.
everything. Now, come on. Man. That would undo everything we went through to get
Yeah. Come on.
What a hater. I want us to have a 4 or 5 game series, and I want this other game to go 7 games.
Amen.
Of course.
I want them to be tired of shit.
Hey, sometimes it don't work. Remember what happened to the Lakers when they had to play the Bulls? They went 4-0, and they was out there for 10 days waiting for the Bulls to win, and they lost in 5. Remember that? It don't work all the time.
Yeah. Dallas and Minnesota don't have Michael Jordan.
Well, of course not.
On the other squad. I'm not that worried.
Jordan's son is out there. One of his sons.
One of his sons.
One of his
don't think Uncle
illegitimate
Drew can
bastard
do it?
children.
You don't think Uncle Drew can do it?
I don't think Uncle
They're
Drew
bastards.
has 8 more really good games left in the playoffs for him.
That's a good point.
He's got to have 8 of them for them to beat any, because he's gonna have to be a factor in any game that they beat Minnesota, and he'll have to be a factor in any game that he plays Boston. And the other thing that happens with Kyrie Irving is that he is haunted by the demons of his past, and I think being in Boston would rattle him. I don't.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
those
think,
fans.
I don't think he's
fans
that.
not strong.
Well, no, man, because Boston fans are racist as shit. So they're gonna come after him. So yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to say on the playoffs before we go to a break?
No, I think the playoffs have been very good this season. We've had some upsets. We've had some head scratches. I think the NBA playoffs it's been really good. I tell you, it's been really good. I've been enjoying the NBA playoffs this year. I enjoyed the NBA playoffs this year more than I enjoyed the regular season. The regular season, I was like, "What is going on?" The games were slow. They were boring. Even going to a game in person, I was like, "Yeah, what's happening here? What's happening?" So So I'm glad to see. I'm glad to see the NBA playoffs have been so entertaining.
Yeah.
I would just like to mention that the NBA first team or the All NBA teams came out. I don't know if you guys saw that, or if you got to look at that
Is it?
list. But Luca, SGA, Tatum, Giannis, and the Joker were on the first team. Then you had Brunson, Edwards, Durant, Davis, and Kawhi on the second team. And then this is how old we're getting now, Jalen. On the third team, you had Steph Curry, Devin Booker, Halliburton, LeBron James, and then you had Sabonis. Like when we're at the stage now in the NBA where Curry and LeBron are like on the
13,
third team,
Right.
I'm like,
That's the one that counts.
damn,
I know. T-Book.
it's wild. That is wild. So I mean, the fact that
James
Curry,
Harden didn't
Booker,
make
and
it on those
LeBron.
teams.
Yeah, that's what I was
Harden?
also thinking. No Harden.
Yeah, Harden did not make it. They went Kawhi on there on the second team. I mean, I don't really know that Anthony Davis really deserved to be on the second team. I'm not sure that Sabonis deserves to be in the NBA. I'm playing. He's good. But yeah, I mean, I guess you can't. I mean, do you guys think there was any snubs besides maybe Harden on any of those three teams? Can't really think of somebody else.
No. Harden did not deserve to be on the team. God no. Harden, no.
But do you guys think there was any snubs? Anybody that should have made it that didn't make the All NBA team?
I thought I would take Maxey over D-Book. I'm sorry, but I thought he had a better
Maxey
year.
had a great season.
And what did D-Book do all year?
Nothing.
I was surprised that Embiid didn't make any
Right,
of them,
yeah.
considering he was MVP last year. I know he didn't have
think the
like the
injuries.
greatest of season.
He
He missed 29 games,
yeah,
so I don't
just
think
his absence.
I don't think they could justify putting him in there. His absence was too much, so it was just too many.
Yeah, the last thing I'll mention on the playoffs is it's so strange to me that this year the four biggest names left would be Luka, Anthony Edwards, Tatum, and Halliburton. Like there's no Durant, there's no LeBron, there's no Steph, no Kawhi, like all the kind of usual names.
I thought we were gonna have
not here.
one more year of that.
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah, right.
And next year this was gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. It seems like a year early.
Yeah.
For the
Yeah,
kids.
And this is the year that Tatum needs
Yes.
to solidify himself. You're talking what, 5 out of 7 years or 6 out of how many years we've gone to the Eastern Conference Finals now? Gone to the finals and lost. He's 27 or 28, right?
Yeah, he is out of all those guys. He is the oldest by like a year.
Yeah.
I think
he's been considered one of the best for a couple years now. But he needs to have his playoff moment.
Yeah, he's got the numbers.
He needs it. He needs to have he needs to hoist the trophy this year. This feels like a year that's tailor made for Boston.
Right.
To win the championship. I think with the teams left in the East and the West against Boston, I think it would make it a more colossal disappointment if they don't pull it out than if you had told me before the playoffs started that they weren't going to win at all.
Right.
Seeing who's left, they should be heavy favorites.
Well, and the NBA needs Boston in championship. I'm just saying. You got to have the big market team out there, and Boston is that big. The next big market team you have after that would be Dallas. That's it. So you need Boston in that. You need Boston out there and representing the NBA in the finals because they have a global market. I mean, I know the Dallas Mavericks do too, but Boston has a bigger global brand than Dallas does. I mean, even though Dallas has done a good job with being out there, but we need a Boston Celtics in the playoffs. We need them in the if they was playing against the Knicks, you could kind of say, oh well, the Knicks and Boston, but right now we need Boston in the championship.
Minnesota and Indiana doesn't sound like an NBA
Oh.
finals. Sounds like a second tier pro
It's a
hockey league
WNBA final. It's a
championship.
WNBA final.
What-
Yeah.
I mean,
Like a derby.
Minnesota and Indiana, man, that's not going to get people turning on the channel.
I think Adam Silver
Oh my
would
gosh.
be clinically depressed if that was the case.
Oh goodness.
All right. That will do it for the first half of this week's show. June, if you want to get your trivia, hey, you are free to stick around to the second half, but if not, we understand. If you guys want to follow June on TikTok, his link down in the description below. He said he's got a video coming. It's in the works.
We don't know what kind of video.
Yeah.
We don't know what it is.
Just follow. 'cause
No.
it could be anything.
Oh God, yeah. I'm sorry. Life has gotten in the way of just sitting down and just making back-to-back videos like I usually do. So,
Yeah, I
but I'll
feel
be
that.
back on this soon.
Thank you again for joining us for another week. And
All right.
yeah, guys, we'll see you in about 10 minutes with G Money on the other side, trivia, and
Monday.
Ride or Die in 5. So stay tuned.
Hey. Yeah. Hey. On my way to the boat like I ain't just had on the coat when I landed, outbranded. Perched at the edge of the branches. They don't wanna talk mansions, mine look like a campus. And I'm all about my brothers like the niggas I'm sampling. I'll leave you red shirted like the twins from Kansas. Really living my dreams I used to have in my aunt's crib.
You had Sean Kemp, you had Gary Payton. What were some of your best memories of those two guys?
I don't think people understand how freakish Sean Kemp was.
Yeah.
As a kid, it looked like he was jumping over the backboard. I'm old, Jalen. Going to the finals, I went down to Seattle 2 times to try to get Michael Jordan's autograph. He was an asshole both times.
Do you think that Howard Schultz and David Stern were in the right in that time period for asking for that amount of money?
The Sonics, again, are the only professional sports team that had won a championship up till then. You know your team is leaving, yet you see the potential because they just landed a superstar that everyone knew he was going to be the best player.
Thunder come around in 08, 09. I was either a freshman in high school or like 8th grade. By the time I was about to graduate, they were in the finals. How much did that just piss you off?
When I say that I want them to go 0-82 every year. In fact, if you want to throw the preseason games in there too, lose all those.
I think it's going to be about a 36-14 game. Tampa didn't play good last week.
I'm going to say it's probably going to be like a 32, 17, 18 game.
It's going to be close. Depends. It's not going to rain anymore. So I'm going to go with we're going to win by 10.
I'll be honest. I think a lot of Eagles fans are nervous right now. I think it's going to be a close game. This is the Julio Jones night. This is the night where we find out what Julio Jones has left in the tank.
You're basically saying Devontae Smith ain't shit.
You know who's going to score tonight? Turn around. That's who's going to score. Yeah.
I think it's going to be 21-24 Bucks. Jalen doesn't have A.J. Brown. He's going to throw the ball to Devontae, but
Bucks going to win it 27-23. Baker's going to drive at the last minute, score a touchdown, take the lead, win the game.
All right, so he still thinks Baker plays at Oklahoma. Go ahead.
24-21 Birds, and I only think we win by 3 because AJ's out, Devontae's hurt, Jalen's hurt. We run the football, we win by 3. We go destroy the Lions when AJ comes back. 28-17, Eagles all
Did
day.
you know AFR is also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts? Click the first link in the description below to listen to the most recent episode of the show.
He won the chip.
Right. You want to see what his trophy
He
looks
whooped my
like.
ass. For
Yeah,
Look at the unwrapped. Look at this bad boy.
That's tight.
like we got some.
Very nice. A couple of bad drafts, but you know, the waiver wire.
Yeah, man.
You were
He was
clutch.
on it. Yeah. You
Like
think
Think Taylor for being friends without him. Let's go for the repeat.
We do a sports podcast. Okay. And I can't help but notice that somebody is wearing an inside-out neck jersey.
You know what? It's just a coincidence.
Explain what is happening right now.
Forecast was for rain. I didn't want the rain to fall on the outside.
That's all it is?
Because I love Dak. He's the best quarterback in the league. Big Mike's the best coach ever. Dallas's D is awesome. Yesterday was just unlucky. We'd won the coin toss. It was a Cowboys win. It was all about the coin toss.
Let's talk defense. You're wearing the Cardinals hat. You don't get a say. Dan Quinn. I don't want him as my coach.
Oh, he's gonna be though.
I don't want him to be.
I heard a stat today. Green Bay has won more playoff games at AT&T Stadium than Dallas. Do you know if that's true?
It probably
is.
I heard. So you still love that?
No. Mike's gotta go. Big Mike's gotta go. Dan Quinn's gotta go. Jerry's gotta rip this shit up.
Who do you want to replace Dak then?
Don't say Russell Wilson.
I was gonna just ask you, would you trade Russell Wilson straight up for Dak?
No!
I wouldn't either now.
You went Browns to Bills?
No, I was a Buffalo fan and a Cleveland fan.
No.
They were in different leagues when I was
So, well, they were all in the AFC. Oh, okay.
We're not here, guys. We're not here.
Fuck the Bucks! Awesome! Go fucking Eagles! Fuck you!
Hold on, ramparts we watch of the free. Let's go, Bucks! We celebrate Dr. Who's legacy.
I hate you so much. Alright, kill with the sniper. There is so much man on man.
Bird. You feeling good, man?
I ain't worried, man. I'm gonna tell him the truth. We not worried. We go score in this drive.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield for game. His name is Baker Mayfield.
Oh,
the nigga got AIDS.
For my dark horse pick, Min-Woo Lee, baby.
Oh,
we're
shit.
going.
Min-Woo.
This is his year, man.
I will go Siwoo Kim.
Siwoo
Kim. Nah, I'm confused. Who did you pick?
Tiger Woods. He's plus 12,500 at BetMGM. Stranger things have happened.
Uncle OJ passed away today, so tonight we raise him on high.
He is going to be the NFL's first Gen Z quarterback. Does he have thick enough skin to be an NFL starting quarterback?
As good as he is, why would he work out when the past countless amount of Bears quarterbacks have not worked out? Chicago is not a team that's going to put him in a winning position.
The USC woman, I actually don't even remember her name because she's actually not that important. She's giving a speech 2 weeks ago. And she says that she doesn't think that Caitlin Clark broke her record because you can't duplicate what's not being duplicated. And she cited the fact that she used a men's ball and that there was no 3-point line. And I'm like, can we not just give flowers to people that deserve flowers? This should be a time for women across the country to celebrate greatness.
If it's us versus them, who you think gon' win? If it's us versus them, who you think gon' win? If it's us versus them, who you think gon' win? Better not drop that pen. We gon' spin again. I'ma spin. We gon' slide. Drop that pen, pussy nigga, come outside. I been running up that check and I ain't tired. Ain't shed another tear since when my grandma died. I got an all-white rose with the bloody guts inside. Think shit sweet and try. Stepping in shoes is not your size. Niggas ain't step. The back of the Maybach, I sit and recline. Think about what? And I got freaking lens all on my mind. And chrome the spine. What else? Chrome the 9. Then what? Bulletproof the ride. We spin the block and yell like he ain't outside. Heard he had a wedding, he must be the bride. I take them pies, subtract them in the vibe. For that other shit, I'm going for the win. Pulled up with that bitch, then pulled up with a friend.
Welcome back. Welcome back to your favorite show on the internet. Just having a little convo about the best city in America. G Money, what's going on?
Okay, well, I'm still celebrating from Saturday, so I'm in a damn good mood.
For those that watch,
And in case you what?
Yeah, if you watched last week,
you know.
Go ahead, G Money.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Oxford United pulled it off, beat Bolton 2-0, even being 1.2 players down, and then finishing off the last 10 and a half, 11 minutes, one player down. In fact, when it went into extra time, it seemed Bolton was collecting more yellow cards than they were shots on goal. And for the few Bolton Wanderer fans that said some few things, kick my ass. And by the way, I hope you're back home up north with your mom making you a cup of tea and you're doffing your sister, because that's the only thing you're going to be getting.
I was about to say that Nestor probably has a hard-on right now from hearing him talk about football and soccer, but he finished it off with the guy with the sister, and so, Nestor, I hope you don't have one right now.
I loved G Money. He was feeling it Saturday morning, afternoon.
Over there are those late games that decide whether they get promoted or relegated. G Money probably knows about that last minute goal by Deeney. Is it Deeney and for Watford? Like that was one of the best highlights they have ever. So, yeah,
I mean, for teams that get promoted, it's something that, as a fan, you dream of, because nobody wants to stay in the lower league. The goal is always to get to the Premier League. That's the goal. And for Oxford, it looked like that was going to happen first third of the season, and then our manager quit to take a job as manager for another team in the first division.
Good for him.
That would be like your Celtics coach, your Dolphins coach, the Seahawks coach quitting a third into the season to go coach like Philadelphia or coach San Francisco. It's like, what the hell?
I'm all about Wrexham United with Ryan Reynolds. How about that squad? Money's gonna smack me in the face the next time he sees me for that comment.
You can be a fan of whomever.
I don't even know who they are. I just think Ryan Reynolds is funny and shit on that show. Yeah.
I mean, it would be. I mean, you almost want owners like that. I mean, that enjoy not just the sport, but enjoy the whole atmosphere of it. I mean, most football clubs are owned by foreigners, Americans or Saudis or Indians, and it's more of an investment to them than it is anything else. Yeah, and most of them don't understand the game anyway.
It's time for a shot.
I was gonna say we haven't taken our second shot, so let's do that now. Cheers, gentlemen.
Glad to see you back in Tampa, up north in Sarasota, Nestor.
Whew. What are you guys sipping on?
I was about to just give you praise, Jalen, for the fact that you take your shot so much better than you did a couple years ago. Because you don't do that like after every shot, but then you went to woo.
This is a little kick. It's 100 proof. I was not expecting that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was just. Well, what'd you guys take a shot of?
We've been drinking this James E. Pepper 1776.
Okay. Oh, I've seen that. Okay.
Yeah, I've started.
I was
trying something new.
Days of Red Dead Redemption.
I just did some Jack Daniels bottled in bond.
Nice.
I was doing a little Jack Daniels Sinatra.
Damn.
Very nice.
Just pulling out the $200 bottle. I was wrong. Mine wasn't the bottled and bond; it was the bonded, because they're both bottled and bond, but they're different profiles. The Jack Daniels has, because they try to be.
Well, I still think we need to make a bourbon show. Do that.
Ooh,
nice.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
Do some tastings, get drunk off our ass.
All right, let's get to the next topic of this week, which we are doing some playoff trivia, folks. Now, we don't do trivia too often here because of reasons that if you look back on previous episodes, you would quickly figure that out.
That was all Shaq.
It was all Shaq. It was all Shaq.
No, it was a lot of me too. A lot of my competitive nature with Shaq.
With Shaq specifically.
I felt like I would be less of a sports fan if I lost trivia to Shaq. Like, I could lose trivia to G Money and be okay with that. I'm sorry, Nestor, I can't lose to you and be okay with that. But I could lose to G Money and be okay with that. But Shaq, there was no way that I was going to lose to him.
Well, Shaq, I don't think. Shaq forgot that Donovan McNabb played for the Eagles at one point, so the bar is kind of low over there.
Yeah, that was a shining pile of cow dung right there. I was like, we're literally doing a sports podcast. You don't know who Donovan McNabb played for on a team in the same state as your favorite team, but that's fine. I digress.
Yeah. All right, so I've got 12 questions here, all about the NBA playoffs pertaining to just this year. So it's not like playoff history per se. It's just this current playoffs. Yeah, and it does span beyond just the 4 teams that are left. It's from basically the first round to currently. Yeah, most of these do have one answer, and if you get that right, then you can go for the second part of the question. If someone gets a question wrong, there is the opportunity to steal. And besides that, it's pretty straightforward. So we're just going to count points. Whoever's got the most points in the end is the winner of this year's playoff trivia, which I believe last year's playoff trivia, I think, ended in a tie.
Yeah, it was a tie.
Yeah, I think it was between Malin and G Money was the tie. But yeah, does anyone want to volunteer to go first?
Yes, sir does.
All right.
Why you gotta volunteer me? Shit.
So we'll go in a triangle here on the screen. We'll go Nestor, Malin, G Money. So Nestor, we will start with you. And let's get to question number 1. So, Nestor, what player is leading the postseason in assists per game?
Oh, that's some bullshit.
I didn't know assists was something they still tracked in the NBA this day. I think I read that.
Assists?
Yes.
How much time I got? 10 seconds.
I mean, I gotta start the timer here. We're gonna.
I'm trying to.
Let's start doing the.
I'm trying to think who has the most points and who's on that guy's team.
You got 10 seconds.
I don't know, dude. Hold on, I got it. Tatum. I'm gonna go with Tatum.
That is incorrect.
What? Can I steal?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm watching him play right now. It's Doncic.
Yeah, he's got it.
Luka Doncic.
Luka is leading in assists, which is kind of odd.
It's also leading in bleeding.
Blood on the court.
Multiple injuries.
The follow-up to that, G Money, is could you give me the number that he's averaging? It doesn't have to be exact. So if it's 20 and you say, or if it's 20.1, you say 20, I'll still give it to you.
You mean the assist, right?
Right.
Average per game, or 9.
Shit,
that's gonna be my guess. My guess is 9. Final guess.
9.1. He's got it.
Damn. That was a guess. That's throwing it out there. That was because what?
I would have gone 8 or 9 too, because if it was double digits, I would have known about it from SportsCenter. So
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Could have been talking about it a little bit more than I have been.
All right, next question is for Malin. This is a true or false. Anthony Edwards is a top 5 scorer in the playoffs.
Man.
Did you give an answer?
Yeah, I said true.
Oh, that is incorrect.
Damn.
Damn.
Okay, well that can't be one that's stolen.
No,
Okay.
the direct
No,
answer
that-
I
you
was thinking
can't.
of was stolen.
That's not a stealing question.
It's not a steal.
However,
it could have been. If
the-
Shaq were here, he would have tried to steal that and then said true.
There is a follow-up, though, if you can guess what number he is on the leading scorers list.
He's not top 5?
Well, if he's not in the
top
top 5, I would probably put him at like 7.
That is correct. Number 7 exactly.
Damn.
There you go. There you go.
Some bullshit.
All right.
Nestor didn't even understand that I had the question wrong. But he doesn't get to get mad that I got number 7. He's like, wait, he's not in the top 5? Maybe I wasn't right about that.
This one.
Number 3 for G Money. What player is leading the postseason in points per game?
See, that could be
Well,
anybody, because you could just go. They could have just played in the first series and be at a high point per game.
you're right. I'll go with Embiid then, because I was gonna go with someone else, but yeah, you're right.
That is
Embiid.
correct. And Joel Embiid.
Right.
Now the follow-up
Fucking
question.
God damn it! Why did I say
You
something?
walked him right into it.
I gave him the goddamn.
The follow-up question is if you can get the number again, G Money.
So stupid.
You get an assist there, sir. You get an assist. See, they only played one series. He played well enough. How close do I have to be? I mean, can I be within a couple of points, or do I have to be right on?
But you don't
Okay,
have to have
if
like the
it's-
0.4 or 0.5.
Right, you don't have to be down
It's
to
like
decimal,
33
but
point.
the whole number
if it's
has to
30,
be right.
if it's 33.8 and you say 33, then
You know, I'm going to go with Malin, 33.
He did it again.
God damn it! I fucking gave him the moment I said it. I was like,
Malin gets 2 assists now. He's going to be the assist leader of this game.
It was 33 exactly, which is the funny part.
what the fuck am I doing?
All right, we're back
I
to the
said
next
I'd be okay losing the G Money, but not helping him get the answers right.
So the score is G Money 4, Malin 1. Nestor still trying to get on the board here. So let's go with question number 4. He'll get it here, don't worry. All right, question 4. The team leading the the team leading the entire postseason in blocks per game is still in the playoffs. What team is it?
Blocks per game is still in the playoffs. I don't know. I'll just do, because y'all can different for shit. That's going to bite me back in a minute, but Minnesota.
It's incorrect.
Still,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go Boston.
It's incorrect.
That's what I was thinking, but I was like, no, you can't defend for shit. So
Okay,
it's not Boston.
I'll steal then.
You guys are just
We just gave him
lobbing it.
half the teams down.
Yes, you did.
50-50.
Yes, you did. Hey, well,
Dallas.
So I'll guess Dallas.
He's got it.
What's this?
But
He knew it. All right.
you just sit back and wait. Just sit back and wait.
Go ahead and say it's 6 blocks per game too, Gary. Go ahead. It's probably 6 blocks
That one does not have a follow-up, although
Oh,
you're probably
okay.
correct.
Probably right.
Rudy, you can't block for shit.
Jeez.
All right, question number 5. This one is for Malin. All right, there are no Celtics on the top 10 block leaders in the playoffs. True or false?
True. You not hear me when I give him?
No, I didn't know. What did you say?
I
you
said
said
true.
He was looking, going like, "Oh man."
That's correct.
Incorrect.
It is true.
Oh, so there you go. That makes my pick of Boston having the most blocks more idiotic. Than,
I mean,
that just shows you're learning. You got it.
I mean, it's funny though, right? Because Boston plays really good defense, and you would think that though they might not lead the playoffs in blocks, they would be like top 5 or 6.
Not
Money's
even.
over here leading like 18-2. So go ahead and
All right, G Money. You have question number 6 here. Another true or false. Jokic is on the top 5 list for points, assists, and rebounds averaged in the playoffs.
Well, probably false. I'm gonna go false with that.
That is correct. That is
I'm going false.
I was gonna say true too.
He's
I was gonna
lacking
put it
the
out there
points.
into the atmosphere. See, the one time I don't say anything, G Money can't get it right. One time I don't just say anything into the goddamn atmosphere.
What's It was a true or false, so I had a 50-50
I
shot.
know, but I damn near I thought to myself, I was like, oh, that's got to be true, and I almost
I
said it,
know.
and I feel like if I said I thought it was true, you'd have been like, well, maybe it might be.
Yeah, I thought that, and I was thinking that, and then I thought, well, wait a minute now. We're doing the whole playoffs, and some players only played like one series, like Embiid, who scored 33 points. So I'm like, okay, if he led the playoffs in scoring, then maybe there's a couple other players.
It's just fucking crazy.
All
All right,
right.
Nestor, get on the board, baby.
We're getting back to the top here. So the score is G Money 6, Malin 2. Nestor is about to get on the board right here with question number 7. True or false? Again, Josh Hart is a top 5 rebounder in the playoffs.
Yes, true.
That is correct.
That felt like that was so random that it had to be true.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know why.
It's like, that felt like one of those to where Jalen came across the stat and was like, oh shit.
Right.
Did you know that?
That's exactly what happened.
I'm like, no way. The follow-up, though, is
That's
can you guess what number he is on that list?
Hold on. Rebounds.
Correct.
Number. I know. I'm just. I'm gonna get it wrong.
No, he's asking the number of plays, right?
Yeah.
Aren't you asking
Right, not
where is he
the
in
not
top
the
five?
average, but where is he on the top 5? Yeah.
Number 1 is probably
Got 20% chance.
2.
That is incorrect.
Damn it. Hey, he's
Said
top
2?
5.
He's probably 5.
No way.
But, you guys can steal this if you want.
No way.
Well, I just said he's 5.
It's incorrect.
Okay, goddamn it. There we go again. Just process elimination for G Money.
I'll just settle with 4 then.
There you go.
Because I'm pretty sure that Anthony Davis is 1, and the Joker has to be like 2 or 3.
I'm sabotaging myself.
You are.
Okay. Malin, you are next here. All right, number 8. The team that is leading the postseason in rebounds per game is already eliminated. Which team is it?
I feel like you gotta go Denver.
That is incorrect.
God damn.
Who wants
Go
to
ahead,
steal?
Nestor. Steal for a dumbass answer so we can narrow it down for G Money.
Waiting for G Money's assist. Hold on.
Okay, I'll steal. I'll take a guess. Since they've already been eliminated,
Right.
I'm going to guess Cleveland.
That is incorrect.
I'll go with the Knicks.
Damn, that is also incorrect.
Oh, no.
No points. It was New Orleans.
What the
Oh, damn.
Okay. I forgot they were even in the playoffs.
I know.
Yeah.
We should have.
Yes.
We should have named all the teams in the playoffs before we started this. I forgot they had a fucking team. Yeah.
Yeah, they were
Forgot
number
Williams.
1.
Zion was even in the league. I don't remember.
All right,
I thought
G
Caitlin
Money.
Clark was in the NBA.
G Money. Number 9. Which team is leading the NBA in points per game on average?
You would think that the team wasn't eliminated in the first round. Why am I saying things? I am.
He's thinking out loud.
Yeah,
Okay.
why are you saying things? Okay, so this is just a wild guess on my part, but I'm
Leading the NBA the whole season? Or just
no, the playoffs.
Just
Leading
the
the playoffs in points per game. I'm going to go with OKC.
That is incorrect.
Nice too.
Go ahead.
I'm going to steal. Oh.
It is not Boston. It's incorrect.
Yeah, y'all suck.
Aha, mister. Bitch.
Damn.
Oof.
I should let.
Should have.
Hold on. Points per game.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna go Dallas.
It's also incorrect.
And God damn
Is
it.
it,
Indiana.
is it Philadelphia? Don't tell me.
No, it's Indiana.
Yeah, what's going
Oh,
on?
okay.
Indiana.
Yeah.
At least they're still playing. At least they're still playing.
Yeah.
Fucking circus is fucking playoffs is.
At 115.2.
Oh yeah, I should know that.
Playoffs. I swear, guys, we do. We watch the
I should.
playoffs.
We all should know that because they were throwing those stats up before the Indiana-Boston game. Damn it! So I get for not paying attention and flipping over to this Mariners game.
Well, you're doing pretty good on the scoreboard, so I'd say. It's
Yeah,
all right.
I think you're doing just fine there, G-Money.
G-Money 15,
Oh.
14.
Could be doing
11,
better.
13.
I might have to force myself to do push-ups now.
All right, these are the last three questions here. It is G Money 7, Malin 2, Nestor 1.
It's not even a way for me to make contact here.
Yeah, but you can make it look close. It's all about style points now. Now it's style points.
Worth 20 points.
I mean, do all three of these questions have follow-ups?
Maybe.
2 of them do.
Oh, shit.
Ah, see. Okay. Well, I guess I could tie him then.
All right, here we go.
I
Number
get
10.
every question.
What player, this is for Nestor, what player is leading the postseason in rebounds per game?
I hate this because I hate it. Because I just, Joker.
That is incorrect.
I'll steal. Because I already gave the answer earlier.
He did say it.
It's Anthony Davis. I gave the answer earlier when we were talking about what position, where Josh Hart fell. Like, because Anthony Davis is 1, I knew that.
Right now.
And Joker, I think, was 3. I didn't know who number 2 was.
Fucking way.
Guys,
Piece of shit.
Gabriel got the answer.
There's no way
Damn
this
it.
man is.
If you can guess the number, there's
I'm not
another
gonna
point.
answer because I'm already looking at leading rebounds.
15.3.
I mean, 15.6.
Damn.
Oh, well.
You got it.
I was off.
Damn. He was off. Show off.
All right. I mean, at this point, this is just we're just gonna fill in for a second here.
Gary's just showing me he needs to give my mom more attention. He's paying too much attention on his goddamn stats.
Where does this is that ESPN?
Yeah, if you would have just ESPN playoff stats.
Well, this site, bro, y'all need to close down.
All right.
Hey,
Come on, hit.
you cleaned
Hit me
the
with a
couch
question
right
or
after
two.
we left.
Question 11. The Orlando Magic lead the postseason in points allowed with 95.9. Which team is in second place?
That's some bullshit. I got true or false on that. What team is second place for points allowed? Fuck.
Oh, damn. What?
I know. This is
Is
crazy.
it Indiana?
Is incorrect.
Fuck. Go ahead, G-Money.
Now let Nestor go. He should, unless you want me to go. Okay, if you want me to go, my guess
Oh, second
is Miami.
That is incorrect.
Oh, that was close because
Huh?
You just
See,
saved
now
Nestor
you
a
saved
guess.
Nestor. Now you can get something else.
Damn, boy, that's a wide ass. Second.
In points allowed.
Not and damn.
Oh.
And he guessed the Heat. Don't you guys judge me now.
We always judge you, Nestor. Come on now.
Not Cleveland.
Why stop now?
It's actually OKC at 99.4.
Well, that makes sense because they're
Yeah, I went Indiana because they scored
They
the most
scored too
points per
much,
game, but
yeah.
they've had some game 7s and stuff, so I thought they were giving up a lot.
All right, G Money, last one. This is just a victory lap.
Put this shit show to bed.
This is a true
Put
or
this shit show
false.
to bed.
Kevin Durant is not on the top 10 list for points, assists, or rebounds.
Top 10 list. Oh. Well, I know he's not on for points. How he's doing with assists. I'm going to go true.
Got it.
That's just.
Jeez.
I mean, I knew he wasn't on there for points. I didn't know about assists and rebounds. When they played Minnesota, you know, it was sad.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of, as you guys were talking in the first half of the show, you know, when you see aging stars in the playoffs and they're really kind of a shadow of what they once were, that's the sad part. I mean, that's when you, I mean, I know the money is so much that it's hard to say no to, yeah, $160 million guaranteed, but if you can't bring it, and you can't figure out how to work as a team, I don't know, man. You're just stealing money. And I think looking at these playoffs, I know Junebug was wondering who the next
Dynasty
team that was dynasty was going to be. Yeah, and you look at this and you think Boston could be that dynasty, but are they going to keep the team together? And I've got to say, even without Porzingis, they've played a lot better in these playoffs than they did last year. I mean, they really have.
Yeah.
They've played a lot better. I've actually been impressed with how they played without Porzingis. And I agree with Malin and probably you, Jalen, that don't play Porzingis unless you absolutely have to. Let him rest.
Yep.
Because you really don't know how well that hamstring is. And if he comes out and plays and re-injures it, and you guys go to the finals, which you should do, you want him, and you're going to need him. If nothing else, then more spacing on the court.
Right. Yes.
And his ability to hit threes. So, you know, I mean, you can space the court better. You've got 3 options as opposed to 2. It works better for you, for Boston, for that to happen.
Yeah. I agree. But hey, that will wrap up the playoff trivia for this year. G Money takes a very easy win here. I think you're on mute, Malin. I think.
He self-checked himself. Like, oh shit, I must be saying that.
Just make sure I didn't mute. Okay. Yeah. Let's move on to the ride or die though. Where
that was so ugly.
Ride or die in 5 this week, folks. This is where we give you. It's not 5 this week because we're coming to the end of the segment for the year. But this is where we're gonna give you several of the best sports bets this coming week. To kind of recap. No, we cannot. kind of recap what happened last week, though. I need to bring this up. I am back out in front at plus 52. It took a week, but I got back there. I am 282 and 230 plus 52. I went. I want to say 2-1 last week. I think that's correct. We only did 3 games last week. Trying to bring this up. Malin is 260 and 209. He's plus 51. G Money is 189 and 161. He is plus 28. And then Nestor is 162 and 141. He is plus 21. Yeah, so Malin went 1 and 2, and G Money also went 1 and 2, and then Nestor went a goose egg and 3, which is why he has slipped back several games there.
It's a fucking circus, I tell you. It's a damn circus.
Yeah, it was interesting, very interesting one. The fact that Indiana saved me, that was the real saving grace was Indiana.
You know what's funny? I was thinking when I made my
Yes, now we hear it.
Yeah, I was like, what if me making these picks ends up fucking me more than
what you're currently at?
Found out.
Yeah, last week was an interesting one. I mean, hey, they've all been pretty interesting here as a ride or die comes to a close. But hey, we've
done pretty shitty in the playoffs.
Yeah, collectively,
squad.
collectively we've been pretty bad. Yeah. So we've got 2 game 2s that we're gonna pick, and then 2 game 3s, which is the game 3 is really gonna be a doozy to pick because we have absolutely no idea what game 2 will have in store for us. So let's start Thursday night tomorrow at 8. Game 2 between Indy and Boston. G Money, you can go first.
I like Boston. If Boston had blown Indiana out the first game, I would have gone Indiana because Boston has a tendency, for some reason, in the playoffs to lose the second game at home. But that was a really close game. They had to go to overtime to win it. I think Boston now realizes that they're in a series, and they need to play. They need to bring their A game, and they need to play. They can't take a game off. You can't give Indiana a game. So I don't see them doing that. I see them playing better defense because their defense wasn't as good as it should have been. And I attribute that to having just too much time off. You get a little rust. But I think with Indiana playing, they're going to be tired. I mean, they just played a 7-game series with the Knicks. They went into overtime in Boston. And I got to play another game. I mean, and if we know nothing about Halliburton from the last series with the Knicks, he's streaky as hell. He'll have a 26, 28, 30-point game, and then he'll come back with 11. And I think Boston plays better defense, and I like Brown, I like Tatum, but I like White too. I mean, and it's interesting. Al Horford is like my age, like 70, I think. I mean, he's old. I remember when Boston drafted him. I mean, it was back 2003 when they drafted him. I mean, my God. And I thought at that time, that was a great pick. And I thought, they're building a nice nucleus, right? Then he went to Philadelphia. That didn't work out. He went somewhere else, and he ended up back with Boston. But
he was
old.
a Hawk originally. That's what drafted him.
Was he a Hawk? I thought he went to Atlanta first. I thought Boston drafted him, and he went to Philadelphia, went to Atlanta, and then he came back to Boston.
No, he was there with Josh
could be
Smith
wrong.
and Jeff Teague, and then we I think traded for him in like 2017-ish. And then he left to Philly and OKC and then came back. But anyway, G-Money's taking Boston.
I mean, I'm taking Boston.
Yes, and I'm going to agree. I'm taking Boston game 2. If we did not win in the fashion that we did last night, and then that would have cause for pause. But because of it, in a weird way, it almost felt like a loss. They didn't play as well as they could, and they should know that. Coach Mazzulla should have them really coached up. I heard one of my favorite NBA YouTubers, Kenny For Real, was pointing out the fact that this man, Joe Mazzulla, comes into the Eastern Conference Finals with no haircut. That means he's been down in the basement scheming up. So I think he's going to have him ready to go game 2. So give me the Celtics game 2. Malin.
Yeah, G-Money, I talked about this exact thing last week or last night after Boston won the game the way they did. I originally thought that Boston would win game 1 and then lose game 2 because that's kind of been their MO. They feel themselves a little bit. They cruise to that game 1 win, and then they let the team in it in the second game, and they can't get control back. But the way that game 1 played out, I like Boston coming out with an edge that we haven't seen in game 2. So I like Boston winning this game.
Nestor?
Yeah, I don't expect this to be a game 2 like what we saw against Cleveland. This is going to be, I wouldn't be surprised of a dominant showing, just because, like you said, the way they won game 1. So, yeah, give me Boston.
All
Okay,
right.
that means
Normally
Boston's
miss
losing.
No, they're gonna win.
We all pick Boston.
They
Nice.
win. If Shaq had picked Boston, then they would have lost.
Need to make
He's
a
probably
phone
putting
call
a
real
bet
quick.
down at the Hard Rock right now on Boston.
Just your bet.
All right, next game 2, Dallas and Minnesota. Game 2. Now, the game 1 just wrapped, and Dallas pulled off the dub, which I did not see coming. I'm not going to lie. Based on how that game was going, thought Minnesota would win close. But, yeah, I'll go first here. I don't think Minnesota is going to be able to survive going down another big hole like they were in the previous series. Like, they were completely sliding against Denver last series, and if they go down 0-2, they'll be in a very kind of similar situation. So I don't think they can overcome that. And in that case, it's kind of like a must-win. Like, they don't want to go to Dallas, and they're already down 0-2. So just based off of that alone, I'm going to take Minnesota to do that. So, Malin.
I felt like this series was going to be tied up 1-1 going into Dallas. I didn't know which one Dallas would win. It makes me a little bit nervous the way that Minnesota did get into that slide against Denver. So it's not like they're not capable going down 0-2. But I think they'll come back. Home crowd, game 2. Like you said, this is about as must win as you can get early on. If you're the home team and you drop game 1, you got to win game 2.
Yeah.
So I could see Minnesota winning this one.
Nestor.
Yeah, I don't see them going down 2. I expect them to win some games away, either way. But I don't expect them to go over there losing by 2. So, yeah, give me Minnesota.
And G-Money.
You know, watching the game, you could see that Minnesota had heavy legs. They weren't defending well. The cutters going to the hoop. They kind of just let them go. I don't think the coach is going to let them do that the next game. At least I would hope not. They have to play better defense. They really do. The one thing that surprised me about Dallas, and I've said this in the past, that in the playoffs, they have the number 3 defense. They had the number 1 defense the last 20 games in the regular season. which they really stepped up and started playing defense. Which, if you know Kyrie and you know Luka, they don't play so much defense. It's like the other guys can play defense. We're the scorers. And it was a close game. They took it. I'm probably going to hate myself for this, but I'm going to take Minnesota at home to win another close game. And I think this series goes probably 7, and they're going to be close.
All right.
This is probably the trickiest game. Well, that in Game 3, because since we're all picking Minnesota,
yes,
we're going into Game 3 on that next one with that assumption.
Well, Saturday at 8:30, we had Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Malin, after you.
Listen, I'm just going homer pick here. I think we're just going to beat Indiana. I think Indiana can still win a game. But I think that Game 1 a little bit demoralizing to them, the way they lost it. And then if we win Game 2 the way I think we'll win Game 2, like, they could be going back to Indiana like completely deflated. And so I'm going to go ahead and take Boston to win this game. I hope I'm right. I hope we're up 3-0. Let's get rid of these people shoving, hustle corn up their ass. Get rid of the whole goddamn state of Indiana. Let's go.
Nestor.
Because I feel like Boston's going to drop a game. I'm trying to figure out if it's this one. Because this is game what?
3.
Game 3. Right?
Game 3, right?
Yeah. A hard one to pick.
No, I you know what? I think the Pacers are good at home. But then again, Boston plays so well away. They play better away sometimes than at home.
They actually do play better away in the playoffs.
Right.
I don't know. Fuck, this is terrible. But, well, there's another game over there. Yeah, I know. Okay, I've read the script. You guys will drop the next game after that. So, no, give me Boston.
Right.
I feel like you guys are going to dominate this series. You guys, I can see you guys going there and beating them again. Yeah. Yep.
G Money.
Boston has won on the road in Game 3. They beat Miami. They beat Cleveland. Indiana's lost at home. And my thought is, if Boston wins and wins by a much larger margin than they did this last game, 6-7 points, I'm going to go Boston. I see them beating them there, at least one game. Probably Indiana winning Game 4. But that's what I said. Knicks in Indiana, and it actually reversed itself.
Swear to God, if we're all over for this, we just need to stop watching basketball.
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard. It really is with the playoffs and everything. You look at it and you go like, man, these are.
I don't think there's any way that we go over, because I don't think there's any way that we're going into Game 4 with Boston down 1-2. I don't think that's
Yeah. That's a good way of
so, but we're setting ourselves up
for something
some
wacky.
disappointment.
Yeah, if you land going 1-3, that's always a possibility. But
it's terrible.
It's hard because we watch both these games to see, and you look at them and you go like, man, you look at Minnesota, you said, like I said, they looked tired. They weren't playing defense like they should have been playing. And Dallas came out and Dallas played. I mean, give them credit. They played, they won. They did what they needed to do, win on the opposing team's court. Boston withstood Indiana, went into overtime with that crazy shot by Brown. I mean, people are saying, well, Pascal he should have gone fouled, but no. I mean, you don't foul him because you don't think he's going to make that shot because you're in his hip pocket. I mean, you're right there, and he's, right up, almost out of bounds when he takes that shot, and he's fading to his right on top of that. I mean, And then once I think that kind of took the wind out of Indiana's sails, right? And I just see them, if they go down 3-0, which I think they will, maybe they win that fourth game.
Well,
maybe they just pack. Yeah, that would be a tough one
we don't
too.
have to pick that one. That'd be a hard.
I am,
right, well,
of course,
that's
agreeing with you guys saying Boston takes game 3. So that's that. Last game, we're gonna start with Nestor here. Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals, Minnesota and Dallas. Who do you want, Nestor?
Well, since I don't think Minnesota's gonna go down 2, I feel like this Dallas team has a lot of energy, a lot of just a lot of motivation. I haven't seen this team this way in a while. So, judging by all that and the way Kyrie's playing, I think at home they're gonna go crazy. So give me Dallas at home. This game's gonna go back and forth. This series is gonna go back and forth. So that game at home for them is gonna be pivotal. So give me Dallas.
G Money.
Yeah, I'll go with Dallas. I think Kyrie read the press clippings. People saying, well, he's not scoring, he's not doing this. Stepped his game up, game 6, and definitely came to play first game of this series. And I don't see them losing the first game at home.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I think that if Minnesota wins game 2 and they come back to Dallas, that crowd's going to be going wild, and they take back control of this series, their first game back on their home court. So, Malin.
Yeah, I agree with you. If I think that Dallas won this one, Minnesota games win 2, or Minnesota wins game 2, then I think Dallas is going to win game 3. I agree with Nestor. I'm hard pressed to find a team winning consecutive games.
Yeah.
In this series until maybe you start getting to game 5 and game 6. So I'm going to go Dallas to win game 3.
And with that, we are all agreeing on all 4 of these games.
On every game.
Yeah. Yeah,
we don't do that from Adam Silver. Adam Silver, don't fuck us up. Don't go against what you faxed me. You son of a bitch.
So that is that, folks. Anything else you guys want to mention before we get up out of here?
I would just like to say to the entire state of Indiana, fuck you.
Okay.
I still won't like you after we beat you, but I like you less while we're playing you. So, well, fuck yourself.
Well, folks, that will do it for this week's episode. If you want to follow us on Instagram or TikTok, it's the same at AFR Sports on both. Shout out to G Money for joining us here in the second half. Appreciate you for always coming through.
Gentlemen.
Shout out again to June for coming out in the first half. Again, his TikTok is linked in the description below. So with that being said, folks, we will see you all next week when we're 4-0. And yeah, go Celtics. We'll see you guys. Have a good one.
Peace.
And the balloons.